You know, today we're living in one of the most extraordinary times to be alive. The resources we have are extraordinary. If you went back to a place like 1920 and people trying to create a quality of life, they look at today and it'll look like a miracle. You know, we've got Ubers, pretty soon flying Ubers, you know, we've got television, we've got all these tools in our pockets that can give us any answer we want. But you know, if you go to a university environment, the place that you're supposed to be able to learn to create the greater quality of life, you're going to find great relationships, you're going to find great information. But there's a real crisis right now, and the crisis is because the cost is 8 times faster in its growth for these university educations than what real incomes are. And so people come in and they work their tail off and they go massively in debt. We have 1.5 trillion in debt. And then you find out what percentage of those people actually work in an industry they have a degree in. And the fact is 73% don't.
Yeah.
And the 27% that do, half of them say they don't enjoy what they do for a living. So we want to talk to you just for 2 seconds about an option that we've had the privilege for 60 years between us, 40 years for me and 20 years for him, to be a part of, where life can be meaningful.
And it's the self-education industry. The reason, Tony and I have been friends for over a decade, but the one thing, besides a lot, the one thing we had in common was the fact that neither one of us went down traditional education.
Yeah.
And we felt like there was no other hope. My guidance counselor said to me, oh, you're not going to college, no SATs, you should apply at the only factory in our town for minimum wage. She never shared there was something in the middle. It wasn't cool yet, but something has shifted. Self-education's becoming the new norm. It's what Tony and I found. I learned from so many teachers, including you. You impacted my life over 25 years ago, and you introduced me to Jim Rohn and Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle and all these great people, and all of a sudden I found a new way. Well, here's the thing. The ability to extract what you know, a hobby, a skill, a passion, an expertise, or extract what other people know and share it in a methodical way through Skype, through Zoom, through a group, through a mastermind, through a course. And this is what Tony and I have been doing together for over 60 years, and we decided to share it with the world. And it went from our mission, and that's why Tony and I are going live once again. You click the link on this page, you can reserve your spot. It's February 27th. And last time we went live, over 200,000 people showed up, and now we have a whole year under our belt, a whole year of experience of providing the blueprint to show you how not only can you create new income in your life, but how to impact other people's lives, how to do something that makes sense.
Something that's meaningful for you. You know, anybody can find a way to sell widgets or do something for a living,
True.
but to do something where you take something you know, or I started out with a teacher named Jim Rohn, who was my teacher, and I was like his broker. I went and got people to hear him and speak and learn from him. Well, today we have software and technology that can do all that for you, all the way down to the marketing, show you how to create the course, how to promote it, how to make it happen. But we'd love to just educate you on what's possible on that side. As you said, 200,000 people showed up, 450,000 people signed up.
Yeah.
And, you know, half the people don't show up. So if you really are interested in just at least finding out what's available, we'd like to sincerely add value to you by showing you the best of what we've learned over the last combined 60 years. And all you got to do is click on the link and then get in your calendar and don't miss the date, because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity that could really open up the doors for you.
Listen, we all know the biggest opportunities in life are when the biggest problem needs to be solved.
Yeah.
The education system needs to evolve. It's a huge problem. And together, we can help solve that problem while you could lean into something that could really juice your life like we've been able to do. So click the link on this page. If you don't even understand what we're saying, show up. In 2 hours, we'll be able to show you exactly what it's like to enter an industry skyrocketing.
Thanks for just taking a moment of your time to listen to us, and we hope we have the chance to serve you personally. Hi, everybody. It's Tony Robbins.
Dean Graziosi.
Listen, you know, you look outside right now, or you look at our economy, and the weather's looking pretty nice, right? And it feels like fall. You know, fall is a reaping time. We all know the different seasons. Springtime, you plant like crazy, you work hard, things start to grow. Summer, it gets hot and sticky, and you're like, where's the crop? But if you do your job in the springtime and you make it through that summertime, you get to fall. You have these great reaping times where things kind of flow, and the economy is there right now. But, you know, the economy doesn't stay in any one place. The seasons change. And what follows fall, obviously, in that autumn and that reaping time is winter. And winter's coming, and that's not an HBO special we're talking about here. But some of you know I spent the last, say, 7, 8 years interviewing some of the smartest financial people in the world, the Ray Dalias, the Carl Icahns, the Warren Buffetts. And nobody knows when the economy is going to change, but we all know it can't last forever. We're in the middle still of the longest bull market in history. So what are you going to do when the market changes? And what do you want to do before it changes to take advantage of where we are? There is an industry that is growing geometrically that Dina and I have been in for over 60 years. And tell them what the numbers are and what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing when the economy shifts that's future-proof? That is the knowledge industry. And here's some crazy facts. The knowledge industry barely existed 40 years ago. I mean, especially when you started 40 years ago.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know, you were 10.
You old person.
You were 10. But when you started, it wasn't
True.
cool. I mean, it wasn't cool, just being
Wasn't
honest.
growing that
It wasn't growing. But now, Forbes said by 2025, it'll be $1 billion a day industry. So it's, as you said, geometrically growing. And then when the economy shifts, it's future-proof because that's when people and businesses seek out specialized knowledge. Napoleon Hill said it the best in 1937. General knowledge, no matter how wide, how vast, it won't get you to where you want to go. You need specialized knowledge that goes deep. So when this economy shifts, and again, we're not economists, but we've had the longest bull market in history. When this economy shifts, people are going to be looking for specialized knowledge, and you have the opportunity to share that with them. You could share a skill, a hobby, a passion, an expertise you have, make an impact on their lives, or in fact, you can even be the reporter of other people's knowledge. There's never been a better time to look into the knowledge industry, and we're so excited. We are doing it again. You probably saw last year we went live. We had over 200,000 people show up. A lot of people had FOMO that they missed it. Well, we're going live again February 27th. And we'd love to invite you. On this page here, you can click the link and reserve your spot. Put it in your phone. You're not going to want to miss out. If the economy goes up, down, or sideways, have something where you can make an impact.
It's also really, we both had the privilege for decades to be able to do things that we love. You know, anybody can go and figure out how to sell widgets, but we got to do things that were meaningful to us. Be able to really see somebody change their life, to help them, not some phony, positive thinking stuff, but real strategies and tools.
There's already 20,000 people a part of this family, and every niche you could possibly imagine, the weirdest niches, the most common ones, anything you can imagine, people are extracting what they know. They're sharing it. They're making an impact. And here's even better. Is people are finding a purpose. This is an opportunity to have a lot of that all in one, and we're so excited. We're going live again, and we'd hate for you to miss out. So take the time right now, click the link, go to the page, reserve your spot, and then put it in your phone, write it on the wall, do whatever you got to do to show up, because there's nothing like live. I mean, it's just the energy and the ability to ask us questions. I don't know if it'll happen again until a year after that. So click the link, reserve your spot, and we'll see you live.
Blessings to you. We'll see you then. Most people aren't going to succeed. And if you're going to be the exception, not the rule, you got to understand what stops people from succeeding. Most people don't live the life of their dreams. You know it, I know it. Most people in North America are not fit and healthy. They are not what they want, whether it's love and passion, sustained over decades. Most people are not earning what they want to earn. Most people are not as happy as they really want to be.
Trying to figure out my why do I exist? What's my purpose?
I had no idea why I was working here. I was starting from scratch and I had absolutely no momentum.
I'm here because Dina and myself want to see you be able to have the same joy we have. This joy of being able to take what's inside your head or other people's heads that can really be useful and make it an enjoyable process for people to learn on their own, to tap this power of self-education from learning from people that know what they're talking about because they're producing the results consistently. It has nothing to do with biography. It has nothing to do with background. It has nothing to do with resources. Resources are not the problem. The problem is people are not resourceful enough. And so in this very first session, before we get into the content, you and I have to get really clear, what does it take to succeed? And the answer is massive, relentless action. And I've been obsessed my entire life with the few who do versus the many who talk, versus the many who have excuses, versus the many who have reasons why it won't work out. But reasons aren't going to get you where you want to go. Results come from an obsession with getting yourself to take action.
I created my first live event, an online subscription-based program, and I'm getting ready to go live in August.
I'm looking to open my first mastermind in about 2 weeks' time.
I know how to launch a good project. I know how to bring it to fruition. So that is what my mastermind is going to be about.
I wrote a book. I have an online course. I have launched more masterminds. I do weekly masterminds. I have a monthly one.
This is the perfect platform for you to discover precisely what you're capable of.
Really help others, make an impact. That's really what I want.
I'm in an industry where I've seen so many people come and go over the decades. And here I am 42 years later, and the difference is the ability to understand momentum. I would make a decision today about how you're gonna play this game. Degrees that you deserve. If you have enough hunger, then you have what it takes to make it happen, but you're gonna have to get yourself in the right habits. And if you're watching this, you're either one of those people and wanna dig it out, or you see those people and you wanna bring their gifts to the world as your gift to the world.
If you'd like to join Tony Robbins and I for our special webcast training, click the link below right now and reserve your spot. If you'd like to learn how to take what you know, your knowledge, your expertise, your experience, share it with others, then you can't miss this training. Click the link below and reserve your spot before it's too late.
Have you ever looked at someone and you're like, how the heck did they get to where they are today?
Always. I looked more when I was envious and wanted to have more success.
Well, I think what's happening a lot is women these days are putting everyone ahead of themselves. And yet they're watching these few women lead the way and they're wondering, how do I get to where they want to go? How do I learn what they somehow learned along the way to get to where they are today?
Yeah, I have to tell you, I never really looked at it that way until you brought it up while we were on this plane ride. I mean, we're on a plane ride. We just went to an award ceremony. The reason we're on this plane is because you want to get home to your baby.
Yes.
Which I get it. Jenna gets to, if you don't know this amazing woman who has gone from buying a $300 camera off of Craigslist to running an incredible wedding photography business, helping women be empowered, helping them go to the next level, help them understand business, and helping them not just, listen, I love, my wife right now is holding my phone while we film this. She supports me. She's there for me. While simultaneously, she still works on her own dreams. And you brought something up really important. A lot of women get lost in being a mom. Not that being a mom isn't crazy. I could never do it, right? But they get lost in their husband's ideal outcome or someone else's or their boss's. And I love what you're doing more than anything, Jenna, and why I love this collaboration. And why in a moment you're going to want to register for a training that we're doing. But I love this collaboration because you support and empower women not to be anything else but the best version of themselves.
Well, and I think what happens is a lot of the men are like, wait, what's happening? And I'm like, look at the women in your life. Look at the women that are showing up for you and everyone else before themselves. It is their time to go. And all they need is to see one woman saying, yes, you can do both things, you can do them well, but you can also make an impact outside of your family, outside of the vicinity of the people who you're interacting with and taking care of every single day. And it is go time, ladies. It is go time.
Yeah, and that's what we've done. What we've done so well, and the reason we became friends is Tony Robbins and I. If you don't know who I am, hey, what's up? I'm Dean Graziosi. You got to realize some people don't. You know, I'm a multiple New York Times best-selling author. I've started over 13 businesses. I've been blessed to go from really humble beginnings to doing really well. And I never forget my roots. I watched my mom work 3 jobs to make $90 a week. So it was so amazing when you shared that with your audience through your podcast, through Instagram, through your phone. The women went crazy, and they're killing it. They're killing it because now they know where to start. Now they know what to do with themselves. Now they say, okay, it's not just I want to do something. This is exactly what I want to do.
Well, and what I think has been amazing is that women just needed the permission to get started.
Really, you have thousands of women already crushing it. I went into your Facebook group the other day. I was in shock. They're just killing it. So if you're looking for, and I know we weren't super specific, but that's why I want you to click the link on this page and register for this webcast training so you can see for yourself the assets you have that are already living inside of you. Learn how to unlock them, how to make an impact, and do it over and over and again. Watching your Facebook group, your women are on fire because they finally have a direction.
Yeah, it is time. Just hear this idea because it's going to spark something inside of you that's already brewing, and it's going to show you what is possible and what those next steps could look like if you are finally ready to invest in the change that you've been seeking. Let's do this. Don't overthink it.
It's what Jenna does. She gets to impact lives. And she wasn't somebody who had gone to school to be a wedding photographer. You didn't have the perfect cameras. She just built a great business and then decided to help other people. Click the link on this page. Register for the webcast training. Take everything off your plate and make sure you show up.
See you inside.
everybody, it's Tony Robbins.
And Dean Graziosi.
Listen, there's a crisis in our country, and I know you know what it is. When most people try to answer the question, how do I create an extraordinary quality of life, and you're young, the first thing you've been taught to do is go find a great university, pass those SAT scores, get the best grades, find a way to get into the best university, find out how to pay for it, and then come out of there and get this great job. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way anymore, as I'm sure you know. First of all, we have, 110 universities have $1 billion endowment each. They're like hedge funds with universities attached to them. Degree, never work in that industry. You know, the 23% that do, that group of people.
Yeah, over half of them don't like the job they got.
It's insane. So you spend all this money and time and energy. So what we need is a way for people to learn that's more efficient, that's more cost efficient, and it's more effective. Something that actually affects the quality of your life. Something that can affect your finances or your body or your relationships or the things that matter most to you.
And that's why people say in today's world that knowledge is the new currency. Because here's the thing, you can go out and buy the fancy car and the fancy watch, or you could pay a lot for school. Not all school is bad. It's helped so many people. It just, school hasn't kept up with the evolving times. And that's why there's $1.5 trillion in debt. That's why there's a whole new generation with new angst on how they're going to pay off debt. In fact, I just read an article that said millennials are buying houses 8 years later, and they think the number one cause, it could be a lot of things, but they think the number one cause is all the college debt. Yeah. But what the world is realizing is that knowledge is the new currency. They're paying for speed by paying people like you to extract your knowledge, a skill, an expertise. They'd rather learn from a professional actually doing it than a professional teacher in a classroom. I mean, when people say to me, Dean, what is the knowledge industry? What are you and Tony doing? One of the things I love to say, and I love to ask you this, if you could go back 5 years, 10 years, maybe even 20 years and spend one day with your younger self, one day with your 20-year-old version, what would that be worth to you to say, avoid this, make sure you put the gas down when you hit this, don't do this at all, and change that whole belief system you had because it's wrong? What would that be worth to you? And especially if you're in business or you have an expertise, whether that's a carpenter, an accountant, fly fishing, or you cut hair, what would that be worth to go back? Well, that's the self-education industry. People are saying, should I go back to college or stick with this job? Or let me go find somebody who's already done what I want to do for 5 or 10 years more than me and pay them to, as Tony says, condense decades into days. Don't do this. And that's the knowledge industry. That's why Tony and I have come together to create the process, the blueprint to show you how to impact other people's lives. All those people that need that information, college may not be working, or maybe they went to college years ago and they're stuck in something that's not.
We had over 200,000 people join us when we did this last February, and we're doing it again this February, and we've done our 2.0 version. We spent a year putting this together. We have a community now of 21,000 people, and I learned how to do this, and then I became the speaker myself. So if there's something that you would like to do that would be more meaningful, this is an opportunity to do it. And there's no cost to it. And we want to add massive value to you. So all you have to do is click down below and join us on that day, lock it in your calendar, and we'll deliver that value for you. You can judge for yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing like live. And so many people hit our office up last time with FOMO, that my daughter taught me FOMO years ago, fear of missing out. Don't miss out. This is live. You never get a second chance at live. We'd love for you to join us. It's free, and we've been planning a year to rock the house. All you got to do is click the link on this page, reserve your spot, and we'll see you live.
We'll see you then. You know, today we're living in one of the most extraordinary times to be alive. The resources we have are extraordinary. If you went back to a place like 1920 and people trying to create a quality of life, they look at today and it'll look like a miracle. You know, we've got Ubers, pretty soon flying Ubers, you know, we've got television, we've got all these tools in our pockets that can give us any answer we want. But you know, if you go